Welcome, my name is Richard Wolf, and I'd like to welcome you to the Sunrise Ministry. The Sun spelled S-O-N. It's a ministry created especially for older adults. Have you ever heard the statement that maybe the time would be better spent and the money also if we put it into the youth ministries, because after all, the youth, they are the future of the whole church. So we need to put our money into the youth and keep them in our church. But let's look at a couple other facts. Older adults are living longer and living healthier. Matter of fact, there's a latest survey, it showed people over 65 has been more in the United States than ever. There's 40 million of us. That's quite a few. We're growing fast. 1 in 5 Americans are 65 or older. Just go to church and look in the pews and see who fills the pews in the church. You see a few young people, but aren't it mostly adults that are there? If we look around most churches we go to, you'll see that the younger couples are really more accepted than us adults are. Adults provide leadership. They're on the church boards. They teach Sunday school. They preach the Word. And they hold up Christian values. Older adults give a higher percentage of their income, mainly because the younger adults have children, possibly they got to buy clothes for them. They have house payments. They have car payments. Sometimes the older adults have a little more to give. So we keep the church going. The older adults keep it going, keep it moving. The future of the church, is it really in the hands of the young people? I would say maybe the near future is in the hands of the young people. But if you really look close, it's the older adults that are in this future now. They're the ones that are holding the church up. They're the ones that are giving their money. Later down the road, the younger adults may be there in church. But I noticed when I went to a few churches that as young people grew up in church, some of them didn't come back, and some of them went on to other churches. So they weren't really there to keep the church going like the older adults were. Older adults over 65, if most of them left, the church wouldn't even survive. I was at a church a few years ago, and the pastor there was a younger pastor, and most of his programs are for the younger adults. And he had a lot of get-togethers for them. People would come to his house for a Bible study, but usually younger children or adults. Us older adults, we was being left out. Well, needless to say, one by one, we started leaving the church because we were really ignored. So the older adults started leaving, and it wasn't until a few years later that church actually closed. Psalms 92:14 says, "In old age they still produce fruit. They are always green and full of sap." Did you notice in the fall, when the sap starts coming down, the leaves turn brown and die off? The Lord is saying, us adults, us older adults, we're always full of sap. And we're always going to be there to prop the church up. You are important to the church. You're important to the community. It's you that's going to lift up the church. It's you that the community can rely on. It's you that it's always going to be the ones that are going to be standing up and volunteering to do different things. It's you. No matter what age you are, you can always do something to help out. Why, you could get well cards to people. You could call people on the phones. One of the biggest things you could do is pray. The Lord said He really hears the prayers of the righteous.